the facts reveal, the federal government of the United States of America, which was instituted to protect the rights of individual citizens, instead threatens our life, liberty, and property through usurpations of the Constitution. And emboldened by our own lack of responsibility and due diligence in these matters, has exceeded its mandate and abandoned those founding principles which have made our nation exceptional. Our servant government has undertaken these unconstitutional actions in direct violation of their enumerated duties, to the detriment of the people's liberty and the sovereignty of our republic. The people of the several states of Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois. I've met all these people, by the way. Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Oregon, Pennsylvania. I know all these people. I know all these people. I worked with them for 11 days. Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming, justly alarmed at these arbitrary and unconstitutional actions, have elected, constituted, and appointed delegates to meet and sit in General Congress in the city of St. Charles, Illinois. Whereupon these delegates, as duly elected representatives of the several states, have gathered in defense of divine justice, liberty, and the principles of limited government, and we stand in clear recognition of the supreme law of the land, the Constitution of the United States of America.
Yeah!
Therefore, and this is the good part, therefore, we demand that the government immediately reestablish constitutional rule of law, lest the people be forced to do so themselves.
Yeah!
And we hereby serve notice that in defense of freedom and liberty, there shall be no compromise to which we shall ever yield.
Yeah!
I want to tell you how I got here. I knew that things were wrong. I knew that it was a gang of criminals and crooks, and they had the power, and there was just one person. There wasn't much I can do. There wasn't anything I could do about it. So I was a non-entity. I was under the radar. Once a week, I'd put my name into the search engine on the internet just to make sure I wasn't anywhere. And it was zero. Until the day I heard Michael Badnarik of Texas.
Yeah!
He got the Libertarian nomination for President of the United States. Now here's a man, a constitutional scholar, someone that I knew was a good man, a good and just man, teaching the Constitution to normal people like you and I to empower them in understanding the law. Because when you understand the law, you can see when other people break it. So many times this week I have heard not the word school, but the words government indoctrination center. And that's the truth. Because they don't teach all this stuff and make sure that you know what the real laws of the land are, because they don't want you to be able to hold them accountable. So, I saw Michael Badnarik, a real man. Oh, I would be proud to be president. I went out the following day. I registered to vote for the first time in my life at the age of 46. I went and registered with the Libertarian Party because I knew that they had some principles. They had some real principles, so I joined them. The following week, I went to their first meeting, and they said, "Oh, it's election time, and we're trying to get precinct committeemen." I said, "What do I got to do?" Fill out this paper. They had a notary there. They notarized it. They submitted it. I went to the polls. I looked at the ballot. Oh, look, my name is on the ballot. I checked it. I went home. Next day, I look at the results. I was elected precinct committeeman with 1 vote.
Yours.
The following week was the Arizona State Convention, where they choose their state officers. Now, by this time, people had seen me, had talked to me, had known me a little bit. When I got there, they said, "Look, this guy here, wow, you know what? They made me assistant state secretary, and because I stood for my principles when they were waffling on it, the chairman, who is a friend of mine, he says, well, you know what? Ed seems to be fervent about this. They made me chairman of the platform committee charged with rewriting the libertarian platform for the state of Arizona. Think about that. When you write a platform for a party, you state what the party stands for. You know what? I'm not that officer anymore. I'm not chairman of that committee anymore because after looking it over, what I said the state platform for the Libertarian Party ought to be is, it says in the Constitution, says in the documents that when the government gets the opposite ends for which it was created, is the right, comma, the duty of the people to change it. I said, that should be your platform. And you know what they said? Oh, that's a little bit too strong, a little bit too much, and we can't do that.
Not for the founders.
I'm not with them anymore. I went on to be a delegate at the Libertarian National Convention in 2008. Anybody watch that? No, you didn't, huh? I was there the entire week on the delegation floor, and they set up the hall by the most money given gets the front row. There was one other state that had given more than Arizona, so they were in front of us. I sat in the middle of the second row, from here to the camera, from the speakers of the podium, with a V for Vendetta mask and hat on.
Yeah!
Now, not just anything like that. I wore white shirt, tie, black pants, shiny shoes, my delegation badge, my hat, my mask. That son of a bitch was hot. The sweat pouring off of me, but you know what? It was worth it. On Saturday, when they selected the presidential nominee and all of that, they had 8 hours on C-SPAN. Oh man, 8 hours on C-SPAN. They couldn't keep off of me. Well, in between some of the voting, I saw that they had left the camera on. Somebody walked by talking. Oh, the mic's on too. Cool. Walked by. This camera's over there. I walked by, and when I got past the camera, I turned and I said, either you take care of it now, or I will take care of it later. Okay, they're telling me, get going. I'm telling you right now, this is the Articles of Freedom. We're going to get it up on the web as soon as possible. We're going to disseminate it to everybody. Read it, and if you agree with it, sign it, okay? Because we need as many people to sign this. I was on a committee where we actually sent instructions to the president, their boss, the Congress, said, you better tell him to do his job. If not, you got to impeach him. We got instructions to the state saying, watch them because they're supposed to do this. And instructions, all you people saying, light the fire under their feet and make them honor the law of the land, the Constitution. Thank you very much for listening.
All right! Yeah!
Thanks, Ed. Let's hear it for him. Our next speaker was also a delegate to the Continental Congress. Not only was he a delegate from Iowa, he also spoke at this very location 1 year ago today. In 2002, he ran for governor of Iowa.
I remember him.
Co-author of a book called Restoring the Heart of America, which was endorsed by Ron Paul. He's also the founder of Restoring the Heart of America, and check out his website at restoringtheheartofamerica.com. Big Chicago welcome for Clyde Cleveland.
Yay!
Thank you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for caring about our country. We are in a very, very, very critical time right now. We have people all over the country who are finally waking up and realizing that our country is being stolen from us. I want to start with a quote, a very, very prophetic quote written in 1700 from Thomas Jefferson. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of all property until their children will wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. Amen. Now he said that 230 years ago. How prophetic was that? What are those corporations that grow up around the Federal Reserve?